Murder in the morning from the Hidden Killers podcast.
Well, I got to say, it's never a good thing for your children to have access to weapons. Kind of a given, you know. If you disagree with that, well, then I think there's maybe some other things you should be looking into in terms of your mental well-being. But a 3-year-old having access to a gun, I think, is a fairly safe statement to make without anyone getting up in arms. Although maybe. In Lafayette, Indiana this week, a chilling incident unfolded. It actually works out okay in the end for the 3-year-old. Okay, I'm just saying that right now. So
yeah.
But obviously, you know, the 3-year-old getting their hands on the gun is a bit of a problem as well. But then when you consider the people that this 3-year-old is surrounded by on a daily basis, it's not surprising that the 3-year-old ended up with a weapon in his hands.
A loaded weapon,
A loaded weapon. A 3-year-old child unwittingly became both the victim and the predator in the case. The child, a toddler, barely beyond infancy, ended up firing a single round from a firearm he should never have had access to. The bullets did tragically go into 2 individuals. Now, this is not the good part by any means. The child's 21-year-old mother and her friend. Her friend, however, Trayshaun Smith, a 23-year-old visitor from another state. Always good to bring, you know, suspected murderers into your home with your young son. In the aftermath of the gunshot, the 2 victims, withering in pain but thankfully not fatally wounded, were rushed to the Franciscan Health Lafayette East Hospital. The clock displayed 8:31 p.m., marking the time Thursday evening turned into a nightmare for the victims. In accordance with the standard protocols, the hospital informed the Lafayette Police Department about the gunshot wounds. Lieutenant Justin Hartman, a seasoned officer, responded to the call, preparing for a run-of-the-mill shooting investigation. However, what he stumbled upon was a complex puzzle with pieces scattered across multiple states. You see, the bullet wound itself narrated a grim tale. The gunshot victims were not caught in a crossfire, nor were they victims of an armed robbery gone wrong. Rather, they were shot in an apartment in a supposed safe haven by an innocent 3-year-old who had no comprehension of what he was doing. News of the incident would have been shocking enough, tale of neglect leading to unnecessary harm, but the revelation of Trayshaun Smith's identity added a layer of complexity to this. The friend visiting the young mother was not just a visitor, he was a man wanted on a murder charge in Cook County, Illinois.
Oh, come on.
So, he's a good guy. Have him come over. The accidental shooting led to the unexpected capture of the fugitive. So the 3-year-old is a hero in this case. The irony is just as stark as it is as chilling. The toddler's innocent hands indirectly ensnared a suspected murderer. Smith, after receiving necessary medical attention, found himself in handcuffs, the specter of a murder warrant casting a very long shadow over his fate. In the aftermath of the incident, the Indiana Department of Child Services was alerted about the frighteningly easy access the toddler had to a firearm. The query met with silence and inertia. As of Monday morning, no immediate action had been taken. Of course not. The accountability of the incident was a question lost in the labyrinth of bureaucracy as the Tippecanoe County Prosecutor's Office began to review the case. Simultaneously, the police departments of Lafayette and Cook County found themselves in an unlikely partnership. A case that began with an accidental shooting in Indiana had unearthed a murder suspect from Illinois. So the child had access to the gun. We don't really know what happened after that. I'm guessing went back with bomb and yeah.
I don't have children of my own, but I've got some young step grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, when they were 3 years old, I wouldn't have trusted them with the remote or my cell phone or a fork that wasn't a child fork.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid's got access to a freaking loaded gun. Are you kidding me?
That's because so many parents are so narcissistic and so obsessed with themselves and taking their selfies and doing whatever is going to make them look good. And they forget that there's a human being that they have to take care of. And then, you know, just things get put out in places. And I wouldn't do that. And there's just such a bubble of thinking that does not go beyond 1 inch from their head. And you have things like this that happen. very
Well,
dumb
we've
people.
talked so much about how guns are not safe. And when they're around kids like to push buttons. They like to pull triggers. Anything that can be moved, they move it. And a trigger can be moved. It can be pulled. It can be pushed. It just, boy, if you've got a gun, you have a responsibility to keep that locked away until it's time to use it. And it's not time to use it when there's a 3-year-old around.
Well, I think it's something to think about. Kids love fidget toys, and so many people are, every kid's got 1,000 fidget toys now. And I'm not against fidget toys, but a gun is a giant fidget toy.
Yeah, it is.
And I mean, it's not a fidget toy. It's not a toy. But if you were to look at it structurally, yeah, there's all sorts. There's buttons, there's switches, there's triggers.
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to do. You can stick your finger in the chamber.
All sorts of textures. It moves. Yeah, it's a giant fidget toy to a child, and it's one that can easily kill you. How people don't understand this, I don't really know. But I think this is also a story of, okay, bigger story happened here. The child got the murderer or got the alleged murderer caught. However, if the kid's just going back to the same old house with the same old mom who invited the same old murderer over with the same old gun, this still could end horribly. Mm-hmm. This, I guess, is a see something, say something before it actually happens, because it seemed like it almost did happen. Maybe something should be done there.
Yeah.
Maybe that child should
needs to be
somewhere else for a while the mother learns how to be a responsible parent, if that's even possible.
It's really tragic, and it could have had a horrifically tragic ending. Not just that the 3-year-old shot some other people, but he could have turned the thing around and shot himself because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Happens all the time.
Yep.
It does. If you want to weigh in on this story or any story that we are talking about, 8885-KILLER, 888-554-5537 is the phone number to do just that. For Stacy, I'm Tony. Stay with us.